What's up and welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm going to be answering some of your questions. As always, if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer in the next installment of this series, let me know down below in the comment section of this video and I'll try my best to get to them in the next episode. But without further ado, let's get right on into this video. Our first question for today comes from Max Renier, and they asked, did I see the leaked Jango Fett minifigure and is it real? And yes, I did see it. I did talk about it in a previous video. I'll leave that linked down below in the comments or in the description if you want to check that out just to get some more information. And it does look like it is going to be real. Yes, from the looks, it's like someone grabbed it from the factory. So there is a possibility that some of the accessories that he has are incorrect, like the weapon as well as the jetpack. But I think mostly that is the minifigure that we're going to be getting in the UCS Slave 1. And I think it looks pretty good. Definitely there's some flaws, but I think it's a big improvement from some of the previous ones that we've got. And I'm excited to see what we actually end up getting in the rest of that set. Judgment asks, do I think that LEGO will ever make another Playscale Venator or a Playscale Invisible Hand? And I definitely think that they will. I don't know if it's going to be happening in the coming year or two, but when you look to kind of how they go with the Imperial Star Destroyer, that's kind of a set that they keep revisiting every so and so years. Yes, you could argue that that's kind of more iconic than a Venator or an Invisible Hand, but I do think that we will get a Venator in the future. As for an Invisible Hand, I don't know if we are going to get a playset version of that. I would love to see it. I think the Invisible Hand has such a cool design, and it would have been perfect to come out, this year, given, the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. But I do think it's something that we could see in the future. I just think getting more capital ships in general, especially for the Separatists, and even to get another Playscale Venator, because the old one came out in, 2008, 2009, and it is a very outdated build, and I think you could get a very good updated version, especially because it is kind of the same builds, I guess kind of similar to the Star Destroyer. It's the same kind of size and shape. You just have to change up the bridge and all of the different details. But I think it's something that I could definitely see happening in LEGO in the future, but I don't think it's going to happen for at least another 2 years. But I would love to see that, and I hope that LEGO does end up making them in the future. Yes, what do I think about the 327th Battle Pack that's coming out? And I have a lot of kind of different thoughts about this. First off, I think it's great that we're getting the 327th. I think they are very, very cool, and I'm very excited to see how LEGO goes about making them. And I'm happy that they're going to be in a battle pack. I use that word kind of liberally because it's not really a battle pack in my eyes. It's $40 for 4 clone troopers and 3 droids, which I think is absurd. And that kind of brings me to my biggest downside. I don't even know why LEGO calls this a battle pack anymore. $40, that's double the price of what a battle pack should be, and you're still only getting the 4 clones plus 3 battle droids, as well as a little sad spider droid and a massive ATRT. I don't know, I'd wish LEGO would just give us the battle packs that we love. $20 get your 4 clones. I don't need to spend another extra $20 for 3 droids and a small little spider droid build. Maybe this is just me. Maybe other people really like, paying the more money and getting less stuff bang for your buck. I guess that kind of is the direction that LEGO is going in here. I don't think it's bad. I think that the 327th are going to be very cool, and I'm very excited to be able to army build them and that we're finally getting them officially in LEGO Star Wars. And I think they're going to look pretty good. I mean, minus the fact that they're not going to have waist capes. They're just going to be printed waist capes. I'm someone who is a big fan of the waist capes, the cloth waist capes, and since we're not getting them, I'm a little disappointed, but I do think this set is going to be really good. I just think for $40, it's a bit absurd, and I really hate this is the direction that LEGO is going with their battle packs, because I know people are going to buy them regardless. People love the clone troopers, and they could make it $50 and people would still buy it, but it's a set that I'm excited for, but it's definitely a set that I'm not going to be buying until it goes at least 20% off. Cameron says, I really hope that they make more Bad Batch sets because we need some of the Crosshair and his old armor as well as the clone assassins. And I agree with you. I think the Bad Batch, especially season 3, had so many opportunities for great LEGO sets and we just didn't get any, which is very disappointing. I think the 3rd season of the Bad Batch was also perceived very, very well by fans, like one of the highest kind of rated Disney Star Wars shows or animated Disney Star Wars shows in recent time. And I think it was very, very good. And there were so many cool opportunities other than what you mentioned. Yeah, I think the clone assassins, all of the different clones that we saw throughout the Bad Batch, some had really, really cool designs like Fireball and Nemec. I don't know, there's so many great opportunities. The TK troopers, all of the different ships as well, like the Imperial ships and as well as the Imperial commandos. Would have been sick to have gotten some sort of Imperial gunship or something like that. I could sit here for like 20 minutes and talk about all of the cool stuff that LEGO could have done, but unfortunately they just decided not to do anything. I'm sure they have their reasons, but I think as the time passes, it just becomes less and less likely that we're going to get anything for the Bad Batch. Not to say that we can't get a one-off set here or there, and I really hope that we do because there's some great opportunities for some different sets, and I really hope that LEGO ends up making one in the future. Do I think that LEGO will make a New Republic dropship? And this is something that people have wanted for a long time, ever since the old dropship with ATOT came out. That one being very expensive when it came out, as well as now being one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive Clone Wars sets, if you exclude some of the, exclusive like Comic-Con sets and stuff like that. And it is a grail for many, it's a grail for me as well, but not one that many people can afford given that insane price tag. Unfortunately, I don't think it's something that LEGO would do. I think something that a lot of the fans want LEGO to do is, release the dropship and then release all of the different stuff that's compatible with it, like an ATOT, the UTAT, and ATTE, and then, you could buy it and it would be what, like 150, 160 bucks, and then you can compare it with all of those other sets, and I think that would be great. I think that's something that LEGO could do, and it would be very cool. I just don't know if it's something that LEGO is going to end up doing. Yes, there are some like alternate builds. If you take like 2 of the Republic gunships, I know you can make a dropship, but that's kind of, that's what, $300 worth of gunships right there, and you have to, put it all together yourself. It's a lot of work, and I do think that it's a set that would sell very good if LEGO did it. Not to say it's not going to happen. I feel like it's something that is on LEGO's radar. I just don't know if it's something that we're going to be seeing in the near future, and I would love to be proven wrong. I think it's great. I would definitely buy 1, 2, maybe even 3 to use in different mocks and just to display. Not to mention, it's so fun to play when you have it and you can pick up all of those different ships, and I think LEGO would make a ton of money if all of the other like clone vehicles were compatible with the dropship and you could just pick them all up. It's not very hard, mostly because most of them have that little handle to pick them up and walk around with, and that's what the ship would grab onto to actually hold it up, and I think that's something that would be a great idea, and I really hope it's something that LEGO ends up doing in the future. I'll ask, will we get a Commander Agree anytime soon? And I definitely think that we will. It's kind of one of those inevitable things when you look toward Kashyyyk. It's one of the times where LEGO will give us a Kashyyyk wave just out of nowhere. It's kind of like Hoth. You get the inevitable wave every couple of years, and I think we're just about due for our inevitable wave of Kashyyyk sets, and I think in those sets we're going to be getting a Commander Agree. I know a lot of people are a little bit iffy about getting a remake because they think the old version was perfect, and a lot of people aren't very happy with the current state of the Phase 2 Clone Troopers, and yes, I do think if Agree came out, it would be very different than the previous one, and I think the previous one is a near perfect minifigure, so I would be a little worried to see how LEGO goes about making it, but I think that we definitely will get one very soon in the future. I think Agree has a great design, especially in Phase 2, a very cool clone, and I really hope to see a new one in the future, and I definitely think that we'll be getting one in the coming years. So asking the age-old question of why didn't LEGO make a CMF Star Wars series, and I know that there's a bunch of different things going around. I know like the big thing that they say is that they can't due to their licensing. Something like Hasbro owns the right to sell individual figures and stuff like that, but they sell polybags with individual figures and like give them out for promos and stuff. I don't know. I know there's like, it's a whole gray area and stuff like that. It's not something that I'm very educated on either. I don't really know what I'm talking about when it comes to why they actually haven't, but I do think it's something that would be a no-brainer. However, I also think it would not, is not something that you'd be able to find on shelves, but it would be perfect. If you look to the, the 25th anniversary for LEGO Star Wars, when they did all of like those random minifigures that we otherwise wouldn't have been able to get, I think like that's perfect. That's what the CMF should be if they ended up doing one, getting all of those different characters like Nine Nub, Fives, Cal Kestis, all of those other really cool figures that you're not going to get in a set otherwise, put them in a CMS. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the CMF costed more than what it goes for now. They go for $5 now, which is kind of crazy. I feel like if it was Star Wars, they might even go upwards of like $7 to sell them, and they would sell out so fast. It'd be like the Clone Command Station little pack that was, impossible for LEGO to keep in stock, and that might, play into why they haven't done it. However, I feel like it's just printing money. They would make so much money off of that, I have no doubt, and a lot of people would love it, and it'd give us the opportunity to get so many very cool minifigures that we otherwise wouldn't get. I've done videos in the past where I've made custom CMFs. There's a ton of other YouTubers that have done the same for LEGO Star Wars, and there's so many ideas, so many possibilities, because there are thousands and thousands of characters in Star Wars that we're not going to get a LEGO minifigure in an actual set, and the CMF would be the best way to get it, and it's something that I wish LEGO would do, but by the looks of it, they haven't done it in the past 20 years. They're probably not going to do it in the next 20 years. As much as I would love for them to do it, it's just not something that it looks like that they are going to end up doing. Boy301 asked, why aren't there and will there be Jedi Fallen Order sets? And I agree, I love that game too, and I think there's a ton of opportunities. However, just to put it bluntly, we're not getting Jedi Fallen Order sets. I think, yes, it was a possibility at one point or another. I think, something like a UCS Mantis or just any sort of the Mantis, even if it's midi scale, I think a playset would be perfect though. Would have been great, but I mean, it comes down to when you look at the 25th anniversary figures that we got Cal Kestis, and LEGO said themselves, those are minifigures that we otherwise wouldn't be able to see in a set. And, you know, I think Cal Kestis, you know, a no-brainer minifigure to have in a Jedi Fallen Order set. I feel like if we were going to get one, Cal Kestis would be in it. And given that we got him as an anniversary figure, we're not getting Jedi Fallen Order sets. I hate to say it, as much as I think there are some great ideas and so many cool things that we could have gotten, we're just not going to. Unfortunately, I think the reason that LEGO said they weren't or something like that, well, first, they just don't really do LEGO sets for games anymore. They used to with like the Old Republic and stuff like that, but they just don't, even with some of the more recent games. I guess we got some Battlefront 2 games technically, but for Jedi Fallen Order, it's not something that we're going to get, especially because I think they said it was too violent or something like that to get the like make LEGO sets on, which I guess I understand, but I also don't understand at the same time, because they also have like 18 plus sets which are geared toward the adults, the more mature audience. So that's not really an excuse to me, but I do think it would have been sick. It's just I don't think that we're gonna get them now or honestly anytime in the future. But I hope LEGO goes back to making sets based on video games. Alice asking a deep question: what is my biggest regret and worst part about being a YouTuber? And I think to start off with my biggest regret, I think there's two, kind of. The first one is just not starting sooner. Like, doing LEGO YouTube is something that I've wanted to do since I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I didn't start until I was, what, 17 or 18 years old? I think 17, at the tail end of 17. And I just feel like if I'd started earlier, I would have been in such a better position and been able to do so much more in the time that I was making videos. And I think that just goes to show, like, I mean, I was scared. I didn't know like what people would think if they saw it and stuff like that. And I was just all up in my head. And, you know, once I made it, you know, it kind of was all just behind me. And I just wish that I came to sooner and started making videos sooner. And I mean the same if I'm giving advice. I think if you have the idea, if you want to make a YouTube channel, if it's, you know, LEGO based or just anything else, just do it. You know, nothing bad is going to come from it. I mean, I guess bad stuff could come from it, but I think a lot of people get in their own head, and that's definitely something that happened to me. And I wish that I could have, you know, made it sooner and just allowed myself to make it sooner. And then the second thing is, a lot of times I've taken breaks from YouTube where I kind of just gave up, I guess, just didn't have the motivation, and I didn't, you know, try enough to push through. And that's kind of the same thing. I feel like if I had pushed through in those moments, I would have been in a much better position now, and it would have just been easier now than it was then if I was able to push through. But there's just some nitpicky things. I'm very happy with how my channel is doing right now, and, you know, the potential that I see in my channel, so I am sticking with it. And as for the worst part about being a YouTuber, I think just editing, there's kind of two things. The first one, just editing videos takes so much time, and it's not very fun. But I think the thing that really like gets me not upset, but the thing that kind of makes me upset sometimes is when I have a video idea that I think should do really, really good, like realistically should be a very big video, and I put a ton of work, a ton of time, a ton of money into it, and it just performs very poorly compared to a video where like I can sit down, talk to the camera, and it'll take like what, 10, 15, 20, like 20 minutes to make, and the 20-minute video, one that I put no money and 20 minutes into, will outperform the video that I put like days and days, sometimes even weeks, and like lots and lots of money into, will get outperformed by that video that I put really little to no effort in. And it kind of just, you know, makes me feel like, oh, what's the point of putting effort into a video, and if it's not going to perform as well as a video where I don't put a lot of effort in? I know I'm kind of ranting right now, and a lot of people might not understand where I'm coming from, but I think that is the main thing. And if I had to give any advice to people out there who did want to start a YouTube channel, given, you know, if it's, you know, LEGO related or not, I think just do it. You just have to do it. You can't be in your own head, or else you're never going to do it. And, you know, I think I'd rather, you know, do it and regret it than not do it at all and regret not doing it. So the last thing I want to talk about, this is kind of just a random little piece of news that I have regarding the May 4th promo. I don't want to make a full video about it just because, well, I'm lazy and I don't know how to talk about this for a full video. Being, you know, the original promo set 40765 with a May 4th gift with purchase for if you spend $160. And it's going to be a Republic escape pod coming with a Boba Fett and 2 clone cadets. Now, I don't know if this is real. It's coming from someone that I would consider semi-reputable, so it could very well be real. And I'm just disappointed, to be honest. I don't think it's a bad promo. I think it's very cool, but this is the third set that we're getting a young Boba in this year, which I think is stupid, and especially because it's going to be the same version of Boba. And I'm assuming, I think the clone cadets could be pretty cool depending on how LEGO goes about building them, but I think it would have been sick to, you know, gotten like an Aura Singh or a Commander Pons. And I don't know, I don't really know what else to say about this. I think the escape pod will be a pretty cool build. I just think it's not what a lot of people were expecting, including me. And I mean, I guess it doesn't really belong at the end of the Q&A. You know what, I think I will. At the end of each Q&A, I'll have a little news section at the end where I can talk about different news, so I don't have to make full videos on it. Let me know if that sounds like a good idea, or, you know, down below in the comments. And I think this is one to be pretty excited for. I'm excited to see how LEGO goes about it. I am just a little bit disappointed because I think there was so much more potential for the May 4th promo, especially with this idea, and it just feels a bit out of left field. But I am excited to see this promo, you know, once it actually finally leaks, as well as the other promos that we're going to be getting on May 4th. That is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you for everyone who asked a question. If you have any questions that you'd like me to answer in the next installment of this series, let me know down below in the comment section of this video, and I'll try my best to get to them in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe. Drew, signing out.